I think India is so full of contradictions, particularly the city of Calcutta, where there is such a disparate sense of the order of things. It's very different to the way that we see things in the West. I mean, there's a sort of petri dish in the West where we hide things. We don't talk about death. We don't see things in a kind of unashamed way, which is displayed in Calcutta. There's every expression of life happening in the moment, and you really don't feel more alive than you do when you're in a place where everything is happening all at once. And you really find a different vantage point, I think, to really look at your life and to examine things that you might be quite happily or easily able to just bury in the Western world. So I think India is a really interesting kind of canvas in which to sort of explore transformation and all kinds of things that can happen, you know, on numbers of levels about your own sense of self and your relationship to the world, because the world is really happening there. It's not censored. It's not. I mean, there's so many complexities and layers, and being able to sort of come to it with your own point of view and your own judgments, and then realise that you really need to look at it as it is and not bring your own projections, means that you, in a sense, have to change yourself in order to accept what really happens in the world and be okay with that. The expression of music in the film is so important to the atmosphere, to the emotional life of the film, and I was very lucky to both work with Michael Yuzurski, the composer, who came to Calcutta for the shoot, and also a number of very senior musicians who collaborated with Michael on a number of different tracks in the movie. There's a number of different types of music in the film. There's folk music, seen through the music of Tagore, who's a very unique Calcuttan poet and musician. There's also fusion music, so young musicians that have bands in Calcutta that we utilised, that Michael worked with, that we hear also in the score. And then also there's Indigenous music, so tribal music, seen through the Bow Singers, who are at a number of points in the film, and that's music that we've never heard before in the West. So Michael was really taking a lot of these influences and creating a score for the film, or an underscore in some components as well, which is a fusion of these different ideas, and also as a Western musician, composer, bringing in the most emotional life to the film that reflected the calibrations of the couple's journey to parenthood. Digital formats can often look quite cold if not handled well, and I was resistant to the idea of shooting red. We did research trips to India a number of times to figure out the look for the film. We originally shot a music video on the banks of the Ganges for a band called Old Man River, which we shot on 16mm, and we kind of used that as a bit of a litmus test for some of the major set pieces in the film, and to sort of figure out if that was the right approach visually for the kind of look and style of the film. And logistically, it was going to be impossible to shoot film where we were located in Calcutta. It was probably going to be about a 4-day turnaround to receive our footage. And so Denson Baker ACS and myself, the cinematographer on the film, we figured out a particular look for the film that felt organic. We shot 35mm lenses, Cooke lenses, and there's hopefully a feeling of intimacy and a kind of epic quality to the film that feels cinematic, in spite of the fact that we shot red. And I'm really inspired by that format. I think that it's a much more robust format in some ways, and we were very lucky to have been able to access a technology that was very much on the cusp when we shot the film. The film premiered in Toronto in 2009, which was fantastic for us, which was probably a couple of weeks after we'd finished editing the film. And since that time, we've been doing the festival circuit. So the film's gone all around the world. It's gone to Korea and India, it's been in Europe, Tunisia, all kinds of strange and interesting festivals. And that's to kind of build the life of the film. And also, we wanted to premiere the film here in Australia first. So working with our distributor Hopscotch to figure out the right positioning of the film, when would be the right time for an Australian audience to watch the film. So sometimes there's a bit of a gap between when your premiere in a festival will be and when your premiere in the cinema will be. And for us, I think this is the right time for the movie. There's a lot of optimism and hope in the film, and it's my intention or my hope that people will feel uplifted by the movie and encouraged to think about things that are relevant to their lives.